We're very happy to have you join us as we launch the 2022 Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference. We have with us here this morning, as I noted before, our President, Derek Cummins, and also we have our Diamond sponsors representing the sponsors, the entire sponsors group, which are Mr. Elliot Barrow of RBC Dominion Securities and Ms. Jan Crawford of the USA Risk Group. And we have Mr. Nicholas Critchlow, who is the chair of our BIBA Insurance Committee. So we are now going to begin this morning with some brief opening remarks from Mr. Derek Cummins, the president of BIBA. Derek, over to you.
Thank you very much, Carmel. And I want to say a good morning first to the CEO of the Financial Services Commission, Mr. Castigai, members of the board and executive of BIBA, our valued sponsors, members of the media, also very valued, other specially invited guests. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to the launch of our second annual Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference. The inaugural edition was a great success on all parameters, and we are very excited about what is in store for this March 21 and 22nd. Mark those days, please. March 21 and 22nd, 2022. A bit first about Barbados as a domicile for captives. Barbados, being a top 10 captive domicile, has earned the space to host this conference and invite speakers and participants from North America, Latin America, Europe, and beyond. Recent statistics from the Financial Services Commission showed strong growth for the domicile in 2021. And I will want to thank Castigai for consistently providing this data, and also encourage other regulators or agencies in government, as BIBA has been pressing for some time, to be assiduous in sharing key data with BIBA and with the wider jurisdiction and the sector. What we can say is that 2021 showed strong growth again in the captive insurance sector, with the total captives rising from 279 to 308. There were a couple deregistering, but this represents a growth of 34 captives. Having grown or having added 16 new captives in 2020, we managed to more than double that and add 34 new captives in 2021. New captives came from Canada, 16, Latin America, 11, USA, 4. And these numbers are consistent with the profile of our overall total captives. Again, in 2020, we ended on 279. This year, 2021, we ended on 308. In total, we have 154 captives out of Canada, and that doubles the USA, which is 75. Both Latin America and Caribbean, 30, and then we have 18 from Europe. We know that traditionally Canada has been that market for Barbados, but we can see growth in Latin America, US, and also in Europe, and we welcome this. With that, we have 13, we have 13 holding companies and 21 management companies, also both showing a measure of increase in 2021. What I will want to add also to this is the employment in the sector. This sector employs many professionals, and these are professionals at the highest level. They're actuaries, they're accountants, they're finance managers, they're insurance professionals. So this sector really is an important sector for Barbados, and we are happy to see the strength. We are happy to see the growth in it. And we are happy that we are still able to attract. And why are we still able to attract? I would want to say that while there has been concern over the past year of the impact of the global minimum tax rate and its ability to attract global business, we understand that taxation is just one of four of the key or the principal parameters that people employ or review when they're selecting a domicile. Others are regulation, infrastructure, and perception of the jurisdiction. And we are happy to say that Barbados continues to be very competitive in these areas, a strong and rigorous regulatory framework. We have the infrastructure and the ability to get work done. And within infrastructure, and regulation, obviously, we mentioned the legislation. And also then the perception of the jurisdiction. Just last week, we were talking about Barbados climbing on the World Corruption Perception Index, or rising there and continuing to be the #1 jurisdiction in the Caribbean and being the #3 in Latin America. So we continue to hit all the right parameters, all the right indicators that make Barbados an attractive domicile for not just international business, but specifically captive insurance management, and also the investment management of the funds that they accumulate. So what I would say is that the global pandemic continues to disrupt business across all industries, with risks to employees, clients, and business continuity becoming increasingly challenging to manage. What this has done is created ideal conditions for companies to set up structures for self-protection and to help mitigate these risks that commercial insurance entities have started to shy away from. Not only have they started to shy away from them, but we will also note increases in the premiums and the rates for insurance. Barbados remains one of the 7 largest captive domiciles globally and continues to be in the top 3 Caribbean domiciles, recognized for local captive management and a captive-friendly regulatory environment, which has contributed to this jurisdiction continuing to outperform some of the larger global captive domiciles. Now I turn to this year's conference, and it gives me immense pleasure to announce that BRIM 2022, March 21 to March 22, will take place as a hybrid conference, both virtually on our HOFA conference platform and in person at the idyllic Hilton Barbados Resort. As Barbados continues to stamp its place among the world's global business domiciles, we look forward to BRIM 2022 conference, bringing together local, regional, and international thought leaders on insurance, risk management, and global business. And we expect once again to attract over 200 industry professionals. We are thrilled to once again have attracted a number of highly knowledgeable speakers to explore the trends and initiatives in the insurance and risk management industry globally. Speakers will include the newly minted chairman of our regulator for the industry, that is the Financial Services Commission, Mr. Oliver Jordan, Mr. Michael Cerricchio, Managing Director of Marsh Captive Solutions in the Americas, Stephen Robinson, Vice President of Pensions at Sagicor Life Inc., Herman Liningen, Managing Director for International Family Office Investments of the Royal Bank of Canada's Enterprise Strategic Client Group, and Daniel Tolley, President of the Captive Insurance Companies Association and former Chief Marketer and Strategist for a leading global business domicile in United States, Vermont. This year's topics will explore, among other areas, hot topics in captives, the macroeconomic outlook, risk, ransomware, and cybersecurity, regulatory changes in key Latin American markets, AML regulation of the Barbados insurance industry, global minimum corporate tax rate, IFRS 17, for the accountants among us, especially, bringing ESG framework into play, and that's economic substance framework into play, captive fundamentals in business planning, the evolving business of pensions, and private placement life insurance for high net worth individuals. And you will see that these are all meaty topics. The reality is that captive insurance management is indeed a professional service. And it really renounces well to Barbados that we have the cadre of individuals here in Barbados that are able to manage around 21 captive managers. It is not rocket science, but I think it's one of the closest things to that in our industry. And we commend our professionals for being able to bring this product and to grow this product in Barbados. So this will be our first in-person conference in over 2 years, and my first as the president of BIBA. And indeed, while we've been happy to and successful on the online platform, I do miss greeting. I do miss seeing the people. I do miss interacting. So we are really excited about that. But we want to assure all participants that we're going to do this in a safe manner. So while we acknowledge that there is a risk, we are trusting in the science, and we do expect the peak of the current Omicron surge to be well behind us by late March. We are also committed to keeping delegates of BRIM 2022 as safe as possible, and therefore only fully vaccinated participants will be permitted to attend the in-person conference. We have also had discussions with the Hilton that this conference will be serviced by only fully vaccinated staff. We expect all of our participants to fully comply with the safety protocols as set out so that we can have a safe and successful conference. As I close, I would like to sincerely thank our repeat sponsors, RBC Dominion Securities Global, the USA Risk Group, London and Capital, Strategic Risk Solutions, Clarity Life Insurance, Invest Barbados, Summit Asset Management, and CIBC First Caribbean for once again throwing their support behind this must-attend industry event. And we really do appreciate you guys for, in a time like this, for recognizing the importance of this conference and the importance of this subsector within our sector. And again, coming on board with BIBA to make this conference a success. So I just want to thank you all for attending this morning, and I look forward to having you join us at BRIM 2022, again, March 21 and 22nd, as we explore the future of risk and insurance management. I will now invite Mr. Elliot Barrow, Vice President, Portfolio Management with RBC Dominion Securities Global, followed by Jean Crawford, Senior Vice President with the USA Risk Group, to deliver some remarks on behalf of our sponsors. Over to you, Elliot.
Thanks, Derek. Morning, everyone. Just trying to keep this fairly brief. Just want to say it's a pleasure to be partnered with BIBA and the Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference again this year. Barbados being one of the top destinations for captives in the Caribbean, we have been pushing for many years to have a captive dedicated conference, and after the successful completion of year one last year, it's only natural that we came back on board to being a diamond sponsor for the conference. Captives are a major part of our business. Last year, we put on about $250 million US dollars of new captive assets under management. And it is a sector that is growing quite rapidly, as outlined by Derek in his previous comments. So once again, it's really a pleasure. We look forward to seeing everyone in person, and most importantly, hearing all the great speakers lined up for the conference. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, Jan, you are on.
I'd just like to reiterate what Elliot has said. USA Risk Group is very happy to be back involved in 2022 after 2021 in a virtual conference was so successful. I think it's really important that all of the sponsors stay involved and work with BIBA to advance this conference year after year. And I'm so happy that we're having a hybrid platform this year. And I know already that we have people coming in person. So I think this is going to be a great year for building. I would like to thank BIBA, our president, Derek Cummins, and our executive director, Carmel Haynes, and her team for their commitment to BRIM and helping us in the industry move this conference forward. So we're very excited and look forward to seeing everybody on March 21st and 22nd.
Thank you so much, Jan and Elliot. And so after having heard those, really supportive remarks from sponsors, which we appreciate so much, we are now going to invite the media if they have any questions that they wish to ask any of our panelists. Noting that I believe that Andrew has opened or has allowed the mics to be open, even though this is a webinar, that you can ask your questions audibly. So are there any questions from the media?
Hi, good morning. Randy Bennett from Barbados today here.
Good morning. Welcome, Randy.
All right, thanks. I know the president mentioned that the hybrid event, it would be for fully vaccinated persons only. I was wondering if there was a cap in terms of the numbers of people who would be allowed to attend this event.
Yes, we are working with the Hilton in that regard, because obviously there are physical distancing protocols. As you would know, 3 feet between vaccinated persons. So we are working right now. We are looking at a number of 150 in person, but we have the capacity, I believe, to expand the room size to accommodate more if necessary.
Secondly, what countries are you expecting to take part in this conference?
Well, we already have interest from the Cayman Islands, Canada, USA. I am not sure if we are going to get to again have participants from the UK, but I know for sure US, UK, Cayman, Canada at the moment.
Hi, morning. Sean Camerat here from the Nation.
Hi, good morning, Sean. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. Well, then, Derek was, well, he pointed to the fact that the international business sector, including the captive section of it, has shown some resilience, and that Barbados has a lot more to offer outside of the concerns associated with the global minimum tax issue. But I'm wondering, we've entered 2022. I'm wondering from BIBA's standpoint, if we had come into this new year with any unfinished business in terms of things you would like to see happen for the benefit of the international business sector, including the captive insurance segment of it.
Thanks, Sean. Derek?
Hi. Is there any unfinished business? There is always unfinished business. The reality is an evolving sector. And if you look at international business generally, new products are being innovated every day. So therefore, the professionals providing the service, we always have to evolve and catch up. And also the regulators providing, the regulation and the framework, the platform on which we do business, always have to catch up. And in some instances, some of our platform in Barbados, as you know, has lagged behind. We've seen a lot of improvements happening at CAIPO. We always talk about that, immigration, BRA, etc. So, these things are always evolving. Specific to the captive insurance management, we now have our new chairman of the FSC. Beyond this conference, we will be looking to engage on him to know what he wants to do, what his mandate he perceives that to be. Kester Guy, the CEO at the FSC, is very, very accessible, always willing to engage with us. And there are some directives, some guidances that we are still awaiting from the FSC as it relates to economic substance and other matters. So we just want engagement on every hand and side. We want to ensure that when Elia and Jean and the other managers make representations either directly to government or often through BIBA, that we get that listening ear. And I think BIBA has managed to achieve that substantially. There are still a number of things that we are working on with government and even among ourselves, because, you know, as a sector, we don't only look at what others need to do for us, but we look at what we ought to do for ourselves. We, as I said, have very, very well-trained professionals. Is there more that we can do in facing our university to make sure that they are spitting out the right resources with the correct skills? Yes. That's another area that we need to look at. But I mean, generally, we're on a good platform, and the evidence of the 2021 growth shows that we're on a good platform. What I would do, I would open that question to Nicholas Critchlow, who is the chair of the Risk and Insurance Management Committee in the BIBA, to see if Nicholas, is there any unfinished business? I love the way he put it, that you will want to highlight at this point in time.
Thanks, Derek, and certainly thanks for that question. And I think you answered it quite well, in particular respect to the fact that from a regulatory perspective, there's still pieces of legislation that we are hoping to have synchronized and confirmed. Certainly from a products perspective, we are happy to say that the managers, et cetera, are working towards ensuring that we can offer comprehensive types of products to attract the domicile companies of all sizes, whether they be captives or international reinsurance companies. But I think primarily matters pertaining to the convergence of local insurance companies with the international insurance companies, that certainly is something that we are still seeking to have greater clarity and greater confirmation from a regulatory perspective.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to add to that, as you said, that convergence, because you will note that this is Risk and Insurance Management Conference, and we have one of our speakers, Stephen Robinson at Sagicor. So this conference looks beyond just captive insurance, and we're really embracing, as BIBA has done, we're really embracing the entire sector of insurance managers and risk managers. So I just want to make that point also. So thanks for that question. Any other questions?
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Nicholas. Are there any other questions from the media at this time?
Good morning, Sharika Griffith from CBC. I was just wondering, given that the industry could potentially be affected by geopolitical tensions, and the headlines right now is the potential war between Russia and Ukraine. Are there any concerns on the local front where this is concerned?
Specifically, you know, all of Barbados, I think, ought to be concerned with the potential impact on oil prices, fuel prices. That's one thing. Now, specific to insurance, we can definitely imagine what that may do to industries directly in that area, in that region, related to oil and gas, etc. The ability to secure new insurance and what pricing that would be at. So therefore, as I alluded to in my message, as global risks increase, large companies have to consider how they're going to insure. And more, you may find that more companies look towards what we may call, in the simplest form, self-insurance. That is, again, setting their own captive, having their own captive management done. So as risk increases, there are more opportunities for the sector. It's like in Elliot's world. Elliot is an investment manager, which is critical to captive insurance management. As risk increases in the financial sector, investment sector, sometimes you see more opportunities for investment. So is risk a bad thing? Is volatility a bad thing? It's to be managed, it's to be mitigated against, but it presents opportunities.
Hi, Sean here again. I have one final question. Last week, the central bank released its economic review for 2021 and gave its outlook for this year. And in that report, the governor indicated that the forecast is for double-digit growth this year. So I'm wondering from BIBA's standpoint, what is your reading of the economic situation and how Barbados' return to economic growth can positively impact the investment climate and attract more businesses to this country?
Can I say tongue in cheek? It will be good in 2022 to have the other sectors pull along with the international business sector and pull their weight again as they are able to. The reality is, for a season there the last 2 years, the international business sector was able to stymie the flow of blood, so to speak, and to bolster the economy with our tax revenue. And we expect to continue to do the same thing again. As Barbados reopens in a sensible and safe manner, as we have to and as we must, we expect to see all the sectors grow. Tourism, of course, small businesses, again, which is so critical to any economy, but our economy will employ again, they will be open again, they will make money again. And the reality is we need growth in our economy. We have debt, so we don't want to borrow to pay debt. We want to make money to pay debt. So if Barbados is able to do that, to pay its bills by making money, by earning income, it will be again on a sure footing. So we are happy with some of the projections from the central bank, and we're even happy with the way the central bank is more open with its information and its sharing. I must say kudos to the central bank and their new marketing platform, marketing and sensitizing, and also the delivery of the statistics. 2021 gave a good footing as a launching pad for what is to come for Barbados. And every sector must work. And the international business sector, when we do well, all of Barbados does well. Our borders are open again. So all of the director meetings and all the meetings that we've been having online for the past 2 years, some will continue, but there's opportunity for our clients to travel here again, for our directors to travel here again, for persons to be here again. And once that happens under international business, it will renown to the entire economy.
Okay, thank you, Derek, for that response, and thank you, Sean, for that question. If there are no further questions from the media, we'd like to move on with the agenda and to have Nicholas Critchlow, who is the chair of our BIBA Insurance Committee, deliver the closing remarks and thank you. So that's it. No further questions from the media. Okay, good. Nicholas, over to you now, please.
Thank you, Colonel. Mr. Kesegai, CEO of the Financial Services Commission, members of the board and executive of BIBA, sponsors, members of the media, other specially invited guests. As BIBA Insurance Committee Chair, I thank you for joining us today to launch our second annual Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference. 2021 has seen significant growth in the numbers of insurance company incorporations, with approximately 30 new companies being licensed last year. We are optimistic that 2022 will also see robust growth and believe that this conference is pivotal in the continued promotion of Barbados as a domicile of choice for new insurance incorporations. As I close, I would like to thank again this year the chair of the BRIM Conference Subcommittee, Jan Crawford, BIBA Business Development Committee Chair and fellow Senior Vice President of Marsh Capital Solutions in Barbados, Ricardo Knight, and the other members of the committee, Elliot Barrow and Kevin Armstrong of RBC Dominion Securities Global, and Nikita Gibson of Clarity Life Insurance. They have provided valuable input into shaping this conference into another truly international event that has attracted speakers from many of the leading risk and insurance companies from not just Barbados, but across the globe. A large thank you to our sponsors who, through their commitments, are making this event you have heard about today possible. Diamond sponsors, RBC Dominion Securities Global and USA Risk Group. Our Platinum Plus sponsor, London and Capital. Our silver sponsors, Strategic Risk Solutions, CIBC First Caribbean, and Clarity Life Insurance. And our bronze sponsors, Invest Barbados and Summit Asset Management. I say thank you as well to our Executive Director, Carmel Haynes, and her team in the BIBA Secretariat for being prepared to pivot quickly as we decided belatedly to take a chance and pursue a hybrid conference this year with the confidence that we could do it safely and successfully. And finally, thank you all for attending our launch today, and we look forward to welcoming you to our BRIM 2022 hybrid conference. Thank you.
Thank you again, Nicholas. And so this has brought us to the end of the launch, the media launch of our 2022 Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference. We're very excited at how it's progressing, and we thank you all for having joined us this morning. And we look forward to having you join us again in March for the actual conference on March 21st and 22nd. Thank you so much and have a good day.